Good morning, this is Francesca Evans from LymeOnline, bringing you up to date with the latest news from the Lyme Regis area. A number of complaints have been raised over antisocial behaviour at Monmouth Beach and in the seafront gardens in Lyme Regis. Complaints have included late night noise and large gatherings, underage drinking, drug taking, public urination and litter, broken glass and drug paraphernalia being left on the beach. The Town Council also reported that one of its plastic barriers and traffic cones were burnt on an open fire on Monmouth Beach and signs in Lister Gardens had been ripped down. Town councillors have expressed concerns that the increase in antisocial behaviour seen last summer following the first national lockdown was starting to repeat themselves. Last summer, councillors took the unprecedented decision to spend £10,000 on security guard patrols on the seafront. They have now bid for government funding of almost £50,000 to pay for similar patrols this summer, as well as 3 beach attendants who have already been employed to carry out additional cleaning and bin emptying as the town prepares for an influx of visitors this summer. Underlying grievances between some members of Lyme Regis Town Council were raised last week as councillors discussed their code of conduct, which outlines how elected members are expected to behave in office. Councillors were asked to update the code in line with national guidance, but some members expressed concerns that it was not working properly and not enough action was taken when councillors breached the code. The discussion brought to the surface some personal grievances between members, with Councillor Rob Smith calling for the issues to be addressed.
There's obviously a lot of issues I don't know about, haven't been involved in, but I can feel there's been a lot of pain and grievance and a great deal of hurt has happened at times. So I think we need to look at how the process is running and work to try and resolve some of these issues. But I'd just ask John Wright whether he might be able to facilitate a process in which some of these grievances, which are still below the surface and probably not helping the council function well, could be resolved in another forum.
A strained relationship between the Town Council and community interest company Lyme Forward were also raised this week, with one councillor accused of personally victimising the chairman of the organisation. The accusations against Councillor Belinda Borden were made by the chairman of Lyme Forward, Sue Davies, during the public forum of last week's council meeting. Her comments were made in response to a report in the agenda written by Councillor Borden, who is the Town Council's representative on Lyme Forward. In her report, Councillor Borden expressed concerns about a lack of governance and high turnover of volunteers, staff and directors at Lyme Forward, which manages the food bank and is involved in many other community projects. In response, Ms Davies said she had been the subject of an unremitting campaign of serious victimisation, intimidation and persecution by Councillor Borden since taking over as chairman in March 2020, claims which Councillor Borden described as wild and inaccurate. The COVID vaccine rollout in West Dorset has been celebrated among the most successful in the country, but more volunteers are now needed to ensure it continues to run smoothly. More than 66,350 West Dorset residents have received a first dose of the vaccine, the equivalent of 81% of the adult population, with some patients as young as 30 having been vaccinated at Bridport Medical Centre. Staff from the medical practice across the area have been helped by an army of volunteers, but as lockdown restrictions ease and more people return to work, new volunteers are now needed for vaccination clinics, usually run on Wednesdays and Saturdays in Bridport. If you would like to volunteer, you should contact the medical centre via the email shown on screen now. Coronavirus case numbers in the local area remain very low, with fewer than 3 cases recorded across Lyme Regis, Charmouth and the Marshwood Vale in the 7-day period up until April 23rd. In small areas where there are fewer than 3 cases, full data is not given as to protect the identity of individuals. Case numbers have remained fewer than 3 for several weeks now, and there has been similar outlook in all immediately surrounding areas. The closest areas where more cases were recorded were Fennerton and Wimpole in the west, Westham North and Radipole in the east, and Yeovil, Loughton and Hollands in the north, all of which recorded just 3 cases. The new Eat Lyme Regis Festival became the first major event to be staged in the town for over a year last weekend. About 60 producers from across the region set up stalls along the length of the seafront, including on Guncliffe Walk for the first time, offering some of the finest food and drink of the Southwest. This was the first major event to be held in the town since the coronavirus pandemic broke out last year and was staged by the multi-award-winning Eat Festivals. The next major event in the town will be Jazz Jurassica, with a weekend of live music events planned over the late May bank holiday. And now for sport. There may be a nip in the air, but the sun is shining and members of Lyme and Lyme Regis Cricket Club are looking forward to the start of the new season. Devon League fixtures commence tomorrow and Lyme start their Division D East campaign full of confidence after their successful COVID-affected season last year, with a trip away to Sidmouth Thirds, the match being played at Newton Poppleford. This year, Lyme will be captained by Sam Farrow and have secured the services of 3 new players: all-rounder Andy Harrison, youngster Josh Thomas and actor Louis Strong, a left-arm quick bowler who runs a podcast called Headstrong, focusing on mental health with inspiring stories from the world of cricket, including interviews with current Test stars. Lyme are also looking forward to the start of the East Devon Bash T20 series, having played a pivotal role in establishing the new limited over league. Meanwhile, the COVID-interrupted football season continues, with Lyme Regis first team travelling to Dawlish United tomorrow, also full of confidence after their 3-2 injury time victory over Devon and Exeter Premier East Division leaders Fennerton. Dan Rendell's 92nd minute winner took the Seasiders to the top of their division on goal average in a performance described by their managers as fantastic. The other goals came from Fred Parsons and Brad Rowe. Lyme reserves, under the management duo of Matt Priest and Dec Ellis, have started to climb Division 1 East with a 2-0 victory over Lympstone, their goals coming from Rhys Evans and Josh Daines. Tomorrow they are at home to second-placed East Budleigh. Both Lyme teams are doing well in the Perry Street League Spring Series, with the first team beating Drimpton 4-3 and the reserves knocking in 6 goals at home to Chard Rangers, the highlight of which was an excellent hat-trick by stand-in manager Ollie Olner. Thanks for watching LymeOnline's video news bulletins. Don't forget you can catch up with all the latest local news throughout the week on the LymeOnline website, where you can also sign up to our weekly newsletter and find links to our Facebook, Twitter and Instagram pages.